Greetings, everyone. Welcome to DLC Season 2, the final day. The bronze match and the grand finals will be happening today. Hope everyone is doing well today. Talk Gibberish, unfortunately, could not make it today, so I'll be filling in the booth. Alongside me will be Sinaeth.
How you doing, everyone?
Greetings. I hope everyone is doing well today. The first match we'll be seeing today will be Intuition versus ColumW for the bronze match. This is for third place, folks. And definitely stick around afterward. Immediately following that will be the grand final between Specchio and EDFeed. Should be a great day, guys. Sinaeth, what do you feel about this first match coming up between Intu and ColumW?
You know, to be completely honest, I was surprised that Intu ended up being in this bronze matchup. I thought Intu was definitely going to go all the way here, but, you know, it just goes to show exactly, you know, you never really know what's going to happen until it actually happens. So, I mean, I don't want to put a guess, you know, versus with Intu or Column at this point, because, you know, you never really know what's going to happen. You know, one person might hold on to a level a little bit longer than they should. It could go either way.
You are. So, I mean, obviously, it's no surprise that Intu is the favorite going into this match today. Column definitely has a very large hill to climb to find his way up this point. But yeah, I think we're going to see in the first set here probably some hesitance to skip. I think they're going to try to find their rhythm as best as they possibly can, and depending on what the result ends up being, maybe Column may take the victory in the first set while Intu still finds his footing. I'm expecting him to come back very strong. I very much expect this is going to go to a game 3, unless Intu finds his footing right out of the gates, and he was doing some pretty good practice beforehand, so we'll see what happens here. But should be a good one, guys. Hoping for a close match.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Retro, is you definitely got to follow these runners outside of the DLC here. Make sure you're checking out their channels because they are practicing outside of the actual what's happening on our stream over here. So, and I was watching him do some really nice, almost Mario Maker Kaizo levels, and definitely a little bit more advanced than what we're going to be seeing today, just to kind of get warmed up.
Right, you are. So it should be a good one, guys. Looks like the playlist should be pretty well set up at this point. It's going to be a close one. Again, let's go over the format one last time just so you guys understand. For anyone that might be a new viewer, we have 2 runners going head-to-head with a 15-minute time limit. There's 3. It's a best-of-3 set. What happens then in a match is each player is given identical 2 playlists of 10 levels each, so they have 20 levels. And basically, whoever passes the most, whoever completes the most levels within that 15-minute time limit wins that set. If they tie, they go to a tiebreaker, which just takes 5 minutes, and the winner will take that set. Best 2 out of 3 for this one, and they will move on and get themselves that bronze medal.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it, is whoever ends up getting this right now is going to be the third place runner-up to the main event that's coming up right after this versus here.
That is for sure. So this is going to be a big one. Should be a great one to start our day off with at this point. And I'm going to be sad to see DLC Season 2 go at this point, but this is the big day on the grand stage. Best of luck to all the runners today. And I think that we're in for a good one here, guys. Sit down, enjoy yourself, get comfy. It's going to be a treat.
Yeah, that's definitely how it's going to end up here. And, you know, I've seen chat ask in the past, you know, are we going to do this again? Are we going to do other events in the future? Definitely, we are talking about it. We are, you know, kind of discussing it here on our side as far as administration staff and, you know, just running DLC in general. We've had some recommendations over here. So we're definitely looking to get things improved so that this whole thing ends up being a lot more professional, a lot more fun for chat to participate in. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the goal, right? Is to make this really for the community to really get involved in.
Right, you are. And again, guys, definitely check out that Discord if you haven't had a chance to. And we are about to get underway. 3, 2, 1, go. Green flag drops. We are starting off with the bronze match. Here we go.
All right, so both players are pretty screen for screen right here. Not making too many mistakes back and forth. I feel like Column just got a quick cheese there, but I could be wrong.
Both players right now just trying to do what they can to kind of suss out what the level looks like. Again, usually tournament jitters right out of the gate are a bit rough. They have to kind of get in there, and with these deaths that are happening out of the gate, it can be a bit difficult. And it looks like Intu's trying to find a way to maintain his momentum and push himself over the top with that jump. And both players kind of just doing what they can do best at the moment, but we may see a skip here if they can't make any tangible progress.
I don't know if we'll see a skip this early. I think we are going to see a little bit of holding on to this first level, but we'll see definitely what happens.
ColumW with some excellent progress there, actually finding both the package and the goal at this point, but not sure if that's going to help him or not.
Yeah, he's going to have to figure out how to get the package over here, and it looks like Into skipped.
That was definitely a skip, and I figured as much. If you're not making progress, you feel like you're throwing time against the wall here on this one, you're going to move on and find something that's more straightforward. And Into on his side, he's got himself the Waylay. Seems like a much more straightforward brawler type level. We'll see how he works with that one, and if he can survive. But I'm not seeing many checkpoints, however, so deaths may be costly. He's got to take this one a little more cautious.
I think Column's going to give this level a little longer to try it because he knows where the package is. He knows where the goal is. All he needs to do now is figure out how to get both into one spot, and then he's got his first game in front of Into, who hasn't gotten one yet.
Fortunately, he's thinking about it right now, and he opts for a skip as well. So again, after the first map, we're still 0-0 at this point. Who will be the one to get first blood? Into right now has the advantage at this point with Column doing that skip.
Yeah, and that's definitely something to think about too, is how long you are spending in a level and how long you're spending exploring a level. Both runners don't know exactly where they are in the playlist, who skipped first, and things like that. So Into looks like he's soft locked. He's going to reset.
And Column actually voting for the skip at this point and moving on to see what he can find. Into on his side, again, holding on to it, has the package, just needs to find the end, and maybe drawing first blood here very soon in this set.
And it looks like Column's trying to play with this elevator and trying to figure out exactly what he needs to do to get up the elevator. Looks like a weird kind of package back and forth. Ends up skipping that level, doesn't want to try and figure it out.
But while that skip was happening, Into also grabbed himself a clear on that level. So we just saw that. So Into goes up 1-0.
Yeah, and there's our first blood, definitely.
And we'll see. I'm sure that's going to be a nice confidence boost out of the gate. He may be feeling a little uncertain, though, after having some difficulty with that first stage or so. And it looks like Into he does not want to deal with the elevator, also opting to skip for that one as well.
Yep, and this is an interesting hard light with the spark, or the zipper, I should say. I call it a spark because I use it for sparking in Metroid.
No, my favorite power-up is on display here. We'll see which one we'll grab. It looks like Colin's knocking at the door with it. I expect Into will do his best as well. If he can grab this package, he should get the clear right here. And he does. Goes up 2-0 against Colum. He should follow suit here very quickly. And moving on to
Colum's
side from Cammy Move. By the way, fantastic creator as well. Just to shout out those that create. ColumW also gets on the board 2-1. So well done to him. So still a pretty tight match. Anyone's match still. Plenty of time to work with here in this first set.
This seems like a very interesting level where the switch is almost showing you where you need to go as you go through the level.
Now, this one has appeared before, I believe. I know I've personally played this one. You do want to chase the switch, you have to beat it to the end. But Into proving that he's extremely quick, getting that third clear at this point. ColumW should be pretty well quick behind with him. But right now, 3-1 in Intu's favor.
I think ColumW is falling a little far behind on the switch, though. I don't think he'll be able to catch it in time before getting to the end of the level.
Well, Cammy at least is quite nice with it, where there's a path that happens that's a bit easier to catch it up, even if you're running a little bit behind. Into, however, caught it kind of mid-path and did a pretty decent job there, but we'll see what happens. On Intu's side, doing some super jump shenanigans and working his way up with the double box. My goodness gracious, look at this. And ColumW grabs him his second clear, 3-2 in Intu's favor.
Yeah, and all Into needs to do now is get this double super box jump up here, and he's got the goal. But he's got to throw these boxes up in a particular order to be able to have that package in order to while he's up there.
Right, you are. That definitely is a very precise maneuver at this point. I would imagine that if Column gets here, if he doesn't feel comfortable with a two-box super jump like that, he's going to skip that and say, okay, I'm going to move on. But Into, however, is not afraid of this tech and succeeds, but now needs to figure out how to how to disable that hard light to actually complete this delivery. And on
Looks
Column
like you
W,
almost need multiple boxes, so you have to kind of juggle your way up there multiple times with multiple boxes to be able to unlock it.
that is correct. So I wonder if we're going to see a skip. Speaking of, Column W just skipped the level that he was in at this point. I'm wondering if Into Into finds a spring the intended way, but decides to do it the hard speedrunner way for the fans. Oh, but opting to skip, however, unfortunately, that's such a shame.
Yeah, that was definitely a difficult level to spend a lot of time on, and he probably could have spent a lot more time just trying to get through that level with the luck and getting the boxes. And yeah, it could have just wasted a lot of time that didn't need to waste.
Agreed. So at this point, again, 3-2 Into's favor. At this point, we're sitting at about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. So getting close to the halfway point of this set. I'm sure both players at this point are feeling pretty frustrated. Into no stranger to getting into double-digit territory with his clears, but looks like this has been a pretty rough playlist to start with. Again, guys, these are random playlists of challenge difficulty from the tower. So challenge difficulty being 3 diamond that's out there. So if you want to give this a try yourself, go ahead and load up a random playlist and see what it's like. Sometimes you'll get something that's an easy clear. Other things will be a little more obtuse to work with. But in the throes of it, you're going to have to do your best. Into opting to skip on his side.
Yeah, we got another boss battle fight over on Column's side as he's just trying to get through here, kill these creatures as quickly as possible.
So with a brawler level like this, again, it's sunk cost. That even though he got that checkpoint, deaths may be costly. But however, he making himself through there, he's got some good progress. He's got to be feeling good about that one at this point.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a little bit of progress in the level. Granted, you don't know how long the level is actually going to be, except for looking at that shoot time.
Yeah, that's something that is one of the first things that people have to be looking at right away to decide whether or not you want to skip. Again, there's no limit on skipping, but any levels you skip, you cannot return to. Column W, though, however, tying it up 3-3. Well done, sir.
Yeah, and Into is slightly behind him in the same level, so all he needs to do is finish this level and he'll be ahead again.
Unfortunately, taking a costly death there, taking a cannon to the face, that's probably not the best way you want to do that, but that's raw talent. You can't teach that.
I agree. I mean, taking a cannon to the face has got to be the worst.
And now into entering that brawler section, so he at least has some tangible progress with that checkpoint. Column W, however, taking the lead 4-3.
Yep, so as long as Column can keep the pace here on these levels, and if Into spends too much time in this brawler, that's going to give Column a nice, easy first win.
Nice to see the lead change, and we did see the playlist overview screen there. That is a confirmed 4 points for Column out of the first set here. He's moving into his second playlist here with plenty of time to dig into it, see what he can find. And it looks like he's not afraid to be heavy-handed with those skips right now. And he may very well run out of levels to play if he keeps that pace up at this point with only 6 minutes remaining on the clock. However, Into being cautious with this brawler wants to make sure that he makes this progress count. And he has to be smelling that the goal is nearby, as we know. Oh, taking an unfortunate death, however, and prompts the skip. That might be a pivotal moment here, folks.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge thing to be thinking about. And it looks like Column's spending a little more time on these levels looking for cheese. I wonder if they feel like they're ahead at this point. Granted, both of our runners don't know how many levels the other runner has actually cleared, so it's really, interesting to see the changes of choice once you get to the second page.
Well, that being said, Into grabs himself a completion here. I believe this should be at the end of his playlist. Again, a confirmed 4 clears. Tied up here 4-4, guys. Make that
Column gets
Column W making me a liar. 5-4 in his favor, answering right back. So you have to imagine here at this point that Column knows that the level of skill that Into possesses. There has to be a certain level of worry here. Again, you're thinking about that he's got to be way ahead. He's going to try to find his way to do what he can at this point. However, there has to be some worry that he has on his side that maybe 5 is not enough. With Into, again, cracking double digits on a pretty regular basis. We'll see. Speaking of Into, he's working on these boss fights, trying to tie this back up any way that he possibly can. Looks like the delivery should be assured here shortly, but the Vakrat, unfortunately, taking a lot of progress away from him. It can be kind of careless when that happens. Column on his side, trying to find a way to get up and cut this short by using a super jump. He has the package, so that's one way to get it. And we just got to find the goal from here, and maybe he can lengthen his lead. We'll see.
Yeah, trying to get either a sprint super jump, box jump, or just trying to get a regular one. I think he's probably burning too much time trying to get this trick, and it looks like he's got that same feeling. He's just moving on to the switch to see if he can make progress that way.
Sure. Yeah, trying to find that ability of finding skips and trying to do advanced tech like that. If you're comfortable with it, you can definitely save yourself a lot of time. But on the same coin, you can end up losing time by just trying the attempts and throwing attempts at it. You see what's possible. You think you can do it. And again, also, you're thinking about that you're on the big stage here. You want to show something for people to enjoy as well and have a good showing. But otherwise, maybe the more mundane way of doing things, the more intended path, is the more consistent way of doing things. We'll see what happens here. But it looks like ColumW is making some progress. And right now, Into getting bullied by that Lazumi.
And took a death, unfortunately.
Into burning a lot of time on this brawler section. I'm actually very surprised that he's still going as best as he can. He has to imagine he's near the end. Seems like this one seems to be following the theme with using all the enemies as best as possible.
And Column's right at the end of this next level and just misses it because there's a spike bottom there they didn't see until the very last second. So now he's got that knowledge. He can go right through this section and just be very careful getting to the end here and gets his win.
Lengthening his lead to 6-4 as Into is still working his way through. Guys, time is ticking by. We're almost down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this. Column right now is poised to take this first set.
This looks like it's going to be an interesting grab the box and throw the box under you type of climb that he's working with right now. He must be pretty comfortable with a 6 level lead here. He doesn't know he's in the lead, but that 6 levels is nothing to sneeze at.
Right, you are. Definitely no slouch at this point, and this seems like a pretty straightforward climb up from what he has. Into, however, grabbing his clear, closing the gap 6-5, but not much time. He's going to have to pick up the pace. We'll see if he can find something, while ColumW is still restarting on this side as well.
Yeah, and it looks like there's actually a timer that will block off your exit point. If you just miss one jump, that's it. You got to start over. So this can burn a lot of time if you end up missing that door.
And on Into's side, we're going to be grilling up some vac steak. I remember playing this level. It's a cute concept. Not too difficult. Should be a pretty easy clear. He could tie this up very quickly, and this is a nice short level.
Yeah, I believe this is one that Column actually had skipped earlier pretty fast and moved on to some of the other levels that he's in right now.
This should be a pretty easy clear. Into has a chance at it. He's got a minute left on the clock to figure something out. It's not a hard concept, unfortunately. All he has to do is grill up that vac steak and do what he has to do. Just take it down there, throw it against the blobfish, get the package, and head up there. But ColumW, however, answering back, completing that, it's going to be 7-5. He may have just closed the door on this.
Yeah, that's the thing is, Into really needs to find another speed level in order to get in a tie at least.
Well, with 45 seconds to go here, unfortunately, it may be kind of tough. 7-6 now Into with that clear. Can he find something in 40 seconds?
Yeah, that's going to be the trick, is finding that one level that you can beat in 40 seconds. And Column's already midway through this next level that he's in right now.
Now, as we have some knowledge here, we know that one level that Column just had the most recent clear on would be something that we imagine Into could clear pretty quickly. But it looks like he's going to be sticking with this one here and very much may not have enough time to do what he needs to do. We'll see. ColumW making some excellent progress, though, on his side, using those armor jumps on those cromblers.
Yeah, I love the damage boost in this game and people taking advantage of it. It's great to put in your levels.
And that is time, folks. And they're skipping through now to confirm their playlists here at this point. But it looks like this will be Column's point out of the gate. A tough first match, tooth and nail, very close out of the gate. I knew it would be close, but we know that Into has that game 2 magic that tends to do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a nice race to go there because we had Into take the early lead, but then Column just answered right back and took the lead back from him. We had that lead switch, and then, you know, he just kept the lead the entire time. It was close, but he just kept that lead. We had a tie at some point, but other than that, yeah.
Right, you are. Yeah, we had Into draw first blood, but however, Column stayed right there with it. And with the final playlist bit, that is a confirmed 7-6 foes. Column will be taking this first set.
All right, guys, just hold on just a moment while we get everything set up for the next set before both of our runners get going one more time here.
Right, you are. So let's diagnose and analyze what we just saw here. So Into, I think the main downfall from that one is actually the inclination to do more advanced tech, and rather than taking the simpler solution. And even though Column did spend some time actually doing those attempts at sprinting super jumps, he did give up on it eventually. Whereas Into, as a speedrunner, again, very much with that mindset, we just want to throw attempts at things. And when we have it's very prone to get tunnel vision because we want to do one specific strat when sometimes the more simple strat is the way to go. What do you think overall there, Sinea, as far as what happened during that match that maybe was Column's strength?
I think Column's strength was recognizing the levels that were maybe too hard for his skill, or maybe he didn't want to throw too many attempts at that level. He may have recognized the levels and said, you know what, I might be able to do this level, but it's something that would take me a little bit longer with the tech that I can definitely do every time. So I think the smart usage of skipping levels and then doing levels that he knew he could speed run through and just get that the tech off on the first couple of tries.
But you are. So one thing to note is when we notice the results for the second playlist that both of them dipped their toes into cleared the first 2 maps. However, we saw that ColumW actually was very heavy. I even commented about it, very heavy-handed about the skips out of the gate, and then cleared levels that were later in that playlist. So it seems that maybe having that understanding, that situational awareness, like you said, to skip those levels and get to things he felt comfortable with, that very well may have led him to that victory. He's got to be feeling good about that one. Definitely probably an unexpected result for him. That's going to be a very nice boost of confidence. But again, Into no slouch when it comes to game 2, and I fully expect this is going to go to a game 3.
Yeah, and I mean, they even said it before the match is that, you know, both runners felt like they hold on to levels a little too long before moving on to the next level. I think it was Into that actually mentioned that. So this would be an interesting race regardless because both runners are doing that. They have that mindset of, I can finish this level. I know more advanced tech. I can get through this no problem. But at the same point, you got to think you only got 15 minutes to get as many levels as you can done.
Right, you are. And it looks like we're getting set up here. We're going to the planetary screen here momentarily. So we're going to be getting to the countdown, and we're going to be going into this game 2. Again, guys, this is the bronze match for 3rd place in DLC Season 2. Let's see some hype in chat for this one. Who do you think is going to take game 2, guys? Let's see it.
Yeah, let's see if we can get some predictions as far as how many levels each of our runners is going to take. Get a number in chat, guys. Are we going to see a 6? Are we going to see a 7? Are we going to go for a full 11? A 2020?
The 2020, I can't only imagine that. But guys, runners are set and ready. We're ready here in the booth. Just waiting for Jazz to drop the countdown, and we will go from there, guys. Hang tight. This should be a good one.
Now, that would be an interesting question. Let's say Into wins this match and we go to a set 3, and then we end up getting the same amount of cleared levels in set 3. What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, we're underway here at this point, so we'll find out here very shortly. Away we go. So if we go to a game 3, it's definitely going to be, it's going to reset both mental expectations for both players, I feel. It's going to be clean slate. It's going to be game 1 all over again, and I think Into is going to be feeling pretty good about it.
Looks like we got an early skip over on Intu's side as Column is just trying to figure out this level.
I think when you see that many hazards, it might be best to skip, because that right there just screams time loss. And on Intu's side, he has a couple different rifts to go through. Looks like these are some short challenges. We wonder if he's actually going to go through it.
Yeah, meanwhile, Column is taking on this level, figuring it out, just sticking with it, kind of running into that same issue that I was talking about. You feel like these levels could be shorter or easier to go through, especially if the difficulty is right up front. You might think that the difficulty only gets easier as you keep going.
Right, you are. And another thing, though, to keep in mind, however, is that with Intu now kind of on the ropes, he has to take this set to go to game 3. There may be some hesitation. He may not want to stick with levels as long. He's making some great progress here, however, from what it looks like. But even with the small bite-sized challenges that are being offered here, this is a lot of time to invest in the opening level. However, grabbing the package and getting the first clear, shutting me up instantly, 1-0, first blood once again from Intuition.
I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of last time where Intu gets first blood and Column just completes this first level that Intu skipped and ends up skipping a couple of levels because he spent so much time in this level.
And we see a very quick skip though into and he's going into a level from Butterscotch's own Seth. From looks like, again, big shout outs to Butterscotch Shenanigans for making all of this possible and for creating such a wonderful game driven by the community. We're glad to have you, and hope you guys are enjoying the show as well.
Yeah, and also a huge shout outs to Butterscotch Shenanigans for even letting us do this. You know, not every developer wants to allow things like this, so even letting us do something like this is huge.
And it's not even permission, it's full endorsement. They posted the announcements in the Discord about it. They've added us into the community spotlight. So they fully endorsed, they were behind it. They've mentioned it on the podcast. Like, there's some serious stuff going on here, guys. So thank you for the big support. And however, we tied up ColumW, getting that clear 1-1.
Yep, so now we're going to see if my prediction is right. If Column's going to be more apt to skip because he spent a ton of time. And look at that, he skips that second level.
Quickly followed by another skip. They're going to be even up on the same level at this point now, looks like.
Yep, so we're a tie 1-1 on the games here, and they're on the same level. So I wonder if Column almost has a little, I wouldn't say insider knowledge, but, you know, a little, like, have a feeling of where Intu could be, trying to catch up to him in levels, so that way they're on the same level again. And all it now is a knowledge game of who has explored the level, who's tried tricks.
Okay, I have to comment about that. Intu getting the clear, going 2-1, doing a crazy sprint jump, item hop over the top to get that clear. Probably he could have got it the normal way as well, but that one was extremely impressive. A wonderful use of tech and execution there, getting that clear, taking the lead 2-1.
This the fight that Intu's in right now reminds me a whole lot of the Undyne fight from Undertale. I kind of wonder if the music is also like that.
Very much so. There's definitely a couple of Undertale-inspired levels that are out there, for sure. I can think of one from Specchio specifically where it's like the flowy fight, or flowy fight, however you pronounce it. So definitely check those ones out, guys. Some great stuff from the community out there. In the meantime, you're having some difficulty with this Flingo, Dense Fog, Spiketron mess, and ColumW just seeing a whole bunch of Cromblers and Bernie Whirlers and Whizblades, just hazards, just tormenting and bullying both of our runners here at this point. But right now, again, very much in Intu's favor with him having that 2-1 lead.
Right, you are, and you know, but you don't know. These runners still don't know where each other are, and you got to think with a low score where they are right now, they could be doing a skip. Intu definitely getting the skip in right there, getting a little frustrated with all those traps.
And the dense fog was acting as a time gate. So again, any deaths that you take, you know that you're going to be losing a couple of seconds guaranteed. There's no way you can go any faster than that. So I think that was the right choice on his part by doing that skip. And like you said, low numbers here, going pretty deep into the first playlist already with time ticking by. They have to remember how close the first set was. So every single clear matters at this point. And both players are definitely going to be kind of hurting there. But ColumW on his side, still trying to slog his way through this mess of hazards and things. And it does pay off. He ties it up 2-2.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you got to think of, you know, how much of a payoff you're going to get on these hard levels, because you know that the other player is going through these same hard levels, trying to get through here. and you think to yourself, okay, is the other player skipping these levels because they're too hard and too long? Is it going to be worth it to get that extra score because the other player may have skipped it?
Truly the mental game that goes on behind the scenes here, guys. You can kind of see it sometimes in how people play. There's definitely levels of confidence that you can see. You can see the hesitation, even on the menu screen sometimes when they hover over the skip and think about it, or when they stand still for a moment of disbelief. So it looks like that, however, Into making good progress on his side and getting that clear, reclaiming the lead 3-2 here in Game 2.
Yeah, this is super close with both players tying it up every now and again, or just making choices that definitely are affecting how things are going here in the race.
Agreed. It's still a tight one all the way out there. No one's really running away with it. Right now, we're getting close to the halfway mark with about 8 minutes and 40-some seconds left on the clock. Into grabbing my favorite power-up on the side, only has it for a little bit of time. Found the package with a waylay, and ColumW on his side also trying to protect his friend, burning some time there, having to take a reset. We wonder if the skip will be coming here soon.
Yeah, we're looking at Colum try this Undertale fight that Into ended up skipping.
And Into on his side has now found himself a battle gate, and will have to take care of these enemies, but does a pretty good job making short work of them and getting that checkpoint.
Yeah, I ran into a saw blade there, but it recovers pretty quickly, and then is now having to zip through these Lazumis to get through the level.
And it looks like there's another floor above him. Will that be the last one, is the question. Sometimes
yeah,
one of the... Sorry about that, sir. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know that these levels can only be a certain size, so a maximum of 10,000 pixels. You play this game enough, you kind of start to learn that this level, how a big level really can be.
And on this side, ColumW tying it back up 3-3 with that clear. We have to imagine that Into might be knocking at the door here. So this is going to be a nail-biter to the end, I'm thinking, at this point. Taking a rough death, but also plenty of checkpoints. Opting to skip checkpoints, I may add. What is this man doing? Right. Oh!
And it looks like we're in that spike maze for Colum's side. He decides to skip it after only a few tries. Definitely not worth going through that.
Indeed. Definitely the right thing there for sure. Again, he noticed the time gate, didn't want to invest more time on it, saw all the hazards, and that was definitely probably the proper decision, which we saw even Into threw a couple of attempts at it, but Colum definitely a little bit faster on the trigger finger for that one.
Yeah, and there we got Into getting another win, getting a lead here. So now we're at 4-3 Into's favor as Colum is now making their way through this next level that they just got into.
So in this set, the story has been that Into has been leading the way. ColumW has been matching him basically every step of the way, but Into still has his stride. Very much still in his favor at the moment. But you got to feel that right now, with over half the time already gone, he only has 4 clears. He has to be worrying, where does this look like? Going for some pretty crazy strategies, trying to find a way up. ColumW on his side, grabbing the boxes, getting the switches all set up as best as he can. And so that feels like there's progress happening, whereas Into opts to skip and is at the last level of his first playlist.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you think to yourself, you have 2 playlists to go through. You got to think, like, okay, how far on the playlist am I in? How much time do I have left? Do I skip to the next playlist? I only got so many wins. There's a lot of decision making going on.
Correct. Yeah, there's a lot of decisive decision making that has to happen very quickly. Again, the mental game I talk about very heavily here. It's more than just the skill that's displayed on the screen. It's also the wherewithal to actually work through, and the situational awareness of both the time and the levels and your own skill level. Again, all players have their own strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, Into has flexed and shown that he's very good with technical things. Sometimes can be to his detriment, and he can possibly take a more complicated path than what's actually needed in this case. But that's the decisions he's trying to make. ColumW on his side, getting all the boxes stacked up, Into knocking at the door at another completion, and takes it, extending his lead, 5-3.
Yeah, and I don't think Colum's going to be too far behind him. I think if we have the knowledge, remembering here, the goal's pretty close. It's just a matter of getting to it. And there it is.
And the gap here is 5-4. Again, with Into trying to lengthen his stride. Column very much right in his shadow, trying to do what he can here. It seems like with the rhythm that we're seeing here in Game 2, as I had predicted, Into having a pretty solid showing should take Game 2. I'm expecting a Game 3 here. What do you think there, Sanath?
Yeah, this is starting to look like a Game 3 pretty easily, but you never know what's going to happen in our second playlist here.
Speaking about pretty easily, Into making that one quick work of that and pushing the lead up now with his 6 clears.
Yeah, and now Column's got that battle gate he's got to fight through in order to get to the end of the level here, and not to mention all these spikes. We know this is a slightly longer level, so it's going to be interesting to see if Column's going to end up skipping or keep going in this level.
Depending on how things go, we do know that there's only less than 4 minutes left on the clock at this point, so both players are going to have to turn on the heat. Looks like Into is not going to be dealing with that auto-scroller for too much longer, skipping it, moving forward. ColumW advancing to floor number 2, grabbing the zipper, and making progress as he can. He's skipping over those tiptoe power-ups, does not want those. He's going to see if he can find a way to break this level.
Yeah, zipping past those Lazumis is decently hard, but, I mean, if you can time it just right, you can zip right past them.
Absolutely. There is some forgiveness there. The zipper can zip up to 3 blocks or 4 blocks, basically, in between. And with the momentum that Lazumis have, if you can time that correctly, that should be a pretty clean zip all the way through. But you have to wonder, he's going to hold on to it. Can he find a way to break the level, or would it be faster if he did it the intended path and simply just bushed on by with the tiptoe?
He's already way up, well past those Lazumis, too. He's already on to the next checkpoint on the 3rd level, making his way to the 4th level.
And that seems like he's actually doing a pretty decent job of it. And we know that the goal is within sight, and that clear should tie things up, I believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It will not tie things up. It will close the gap into, however, get that fast clear at the start of the second playlist. Looking for 7th. ColumW gets the clear, 6-5.
And we're looking at about 2 minutes left now, so Column's really going to start having to look for a couple of levels as Into extends his lead once again with a 7-5 into his favor. So Column's really going to have to find some very fast levels here to try and catch up, but he does not know how far behind he is.
That's correct. And it looks like that Into is not afraid to do some quick skips here. He knows that the time is ticking and wants to make sure that he has as many clears as possible and try to make this not a nail biter. He doesn't want to take this to a tie. He wants to make sure that they can move on to that Game 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is you got to think this is your last chance in DLC 2 before it's all over and said and done. So this is for the bronze matchup, and it's either you go home with a bronze or you go home with nothing.
As we've coined the term, you'll be 4th place, you'll be best of the rest, but no medal around the neck. Right now, this is a fight for pride. Into trying to redeem himself after an absolutely unbelievable, bonkers, crazy, cuckoo bananas match we saw yesterday, and he takes his skip here as well. Again, fishing for more clears within this second playlist.
And Colum is exploring the spring level, just trying to get through it. He's got this spring, bringing it through the whole level, getting through all these different guys. Got a battle gate to get through to kill all these swoop-to-whoops. He's got the reset right here, so it won't be too hard to do it. It's just baiting swoop-to-whoops is not the easiest thing to do, let me tell you.
Yes, trying to manipulate their positions can be difficult, and also to get them to go where you want to. Also, it seems that their immunity / hurt box is active for far longer than what it needs to be. They're always a pain to deal with on their side. Now, that being said, ColumW does find the goal, but he has to find the package now to deliver it to complete this, to get this point. He's running out of time with only 40 seconds left on the clock. This looks like this is going to be in hand here for Into, and we're going to be going to a Game 3 here, guys. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, this is definitely going to go to a Game 3 at this point. I don't foresee any way for Colum to catch up, especially where he is right now.
20 seconds left on the clock. I think this is going to be pretty well decisive. A beautiful level, though, by the way, that Into is going through. Very nice aesthetically. I think everything is quite well put together with the ripcord. We got some hard light action on that side, and ColumW on this end. Into getting the last second clear just to rub some dirt in it, and gets himself his 8th clear for the final one of this Game 2 set.
Yeah, this is going to definitely be a 5-8 final here, but we're going to have to confirm the playlist when we get to the end.
Right, you are. And that's time there, folks. The time on our side is done. Players are going to be putting it down and skipping through the levels to verify the very end. Well played by Into, coming back with that Game 2 magic. We'll be going to Game 3. It's all for naught and reset. We will see. And the ColumW with 5 clears on that side. Into with 3 on his second playlist. That is a confirmed 8-5 to Into. Well played to both runners on that one. We're going to Game 3 here, guys.
Yeah, let's get some hype in the chat for Game 3 on this. I mean, this is just as close as the races that we had yesterday, so let's get some hype in the chat going.
This is going to be a good one. Let's strap in here, guys. And again, remember, this is just the bronze match for the day. We're going to have another one following this one immediately afterwards. Specchio, the man who took down Intuition yesterday, versus EDFeed, who faced the mobile champion, TD Kaiser, and took him down in the process. EDFeed with a lot of practice versus Specchio, who's shown extreme consistency throughout at this point. I think it's going to be a really close match in the final following this one as well, guys. Should be a really good one.
Yeah, be sure to stick around for that match. And if you're not following our runners and lurking on their channels, in addition to watching us over at DLC, be sure that you go to each of our runners' channels, give them a follow, show them that you love them, and make sure you at least get their channel on lurk while you're watching us over here. Those viewer numbers mean a whole lot to a streamer, let me tell you.
For sure. Definitely follow the runners. Definitely check out and follow the channel here at Delivery Championship if you haven't. If you want to get involved with the next DLC, so season 3 will eventually happen at some point again. We'll see. You also be up here running on the big stage. We welcome all skill levels. You don't have to be the top creator, the top runner. You can be someone that has joined the game. If you think this is interesting and fun and you want to get involved with it, definitely do so. Pop into the Discord. You'll find out all the news and updates there. Follow the channel and definitely check things out as we go here. It should be a lot of fun. And that's all we're having here, guys. This is a great time. It's a great community, great game, and great races we've had throughout this entire tournament. I think every match has been exciting in its own way.
Yeah, and that's definitely the thing, is that these matches are super exciting, especially to participate in. And like Retro said, we do these matches all the time. And people have asked us if we're going to be doing kind of like a quote-unquote amateur league or more advanced league, or maybe even doing like other category races. And it's something we're talking about. I don't want to announce anything yet because it hasn't been like decided on, but it's definitely something we're talking about.
Absolutely. So it's only going to grow here, guys. This is DLC season 2, and we had 8 competitors. We had exhibition matches before, and there was a pre-launch that happened with a few folks. It's only going to get bigger from here. We're going to see some new faces. We're going to see new upsets. We're going to have better matches and memories moving forward. But DLC 2, this has shown, just from the matches that we've seen, it's going to be absolutely incredible. And thank you guys for everyone that tuned in today. And hopefully you guys are all having a great time. I know I am.
Yeah, this is definitely a whole lot of fun to watch and especially commentate on. Again, if you guys want to get involved in our community, like Retro said, join our Discord. If you want to join any of the roles that we have, if you want to be a racer, a commentator, someone on the tech end, someone that helps us keep track of things, definitely, we're always looking for people to help us out as we grow, because this is only going to get bigger.
All right, completely agreed with that for sure, guys. The only main requirement for you, if you want to join in on the big stage here, is being able to stream, and setting up OBS is not very difficult, and it's pretty straightforward. And it looks like at this point, our runners are verifying their playlists. We're going to be getting here to the countdown very, very shortly, guys. So hang in there. This is Game 3. Winner of this set will be taking the bronze match and will be awarded 3rd place in DLC Season 2.
Yeah, so we got both of our runners getting ready here to get going. They're giving their readies over in our private chat to let us know that they are getting ready here. So we're going to get a countdown fairly soon here.
All right, we've gotten all the readies across the board. We're just waiting for the countdown, guys. Get ready. It's going to be close. The first 2 games were very close offhand. Intu's going to be feeling good going into this one. Column has something to prove. The young gun coming in. Can he get the bronze? 3, 2, 1, and away we go in Game 3.
Go.
All right.
Right out of the gate, they have to do some precise waylay movement into taking a death early on. ColumW trying to find his path and gets to that first checkpoint.
Yeah, so Column's already got a little bit of the level knowledge getting through here. Got a second checkpoint on Into, so he's definitely got a little bit of a lead, as you gotta be careful getting through these spikes.
We got some angry cromblers here. Loses the waylay power up through that purge gate. ColumW making excellent progress. Very confident, steady progress. And that definitely, he's got to be feeling good about that out of the gate. Into, however, finding some frustration, and he gets to the second checkpoint, third checkpoint. They're now within a similar section, and ColumW taking that death. We will see if that will open the door for Into to catch back up. Who will take first blood? Into had it in the first 2 sets. Will ColumW have it in the third set?
That's an excellent question. It's definitely screen for screen. We're on the same checkpoint, falling through the same spiky death maze here. Into gets a slight lead over here, getting a little more level knowledge, getting through the rest of this area.
Correct, but however, taking that death and then ColumW falling right afterward, apparently Intuition has played Mega Man and was able to navigate that fall section just fine. And ColumW, however, taking first blood on this one, saying, no, Intuition, you cannot take first blood 3 times in a row. I've got this. Tying it up, though, Intuition cleared 1-1 in Game 3 here, guys.
All right, guys, so we're coming into our next level here. It looks like we had a skip because I don't see the same level now, so I'm not sure who skipped. Looks like it was Column, actually, and just looking at the top there.
Yes, that is correct. You can see the progress in the playlist at the top there with the little dots of what we have. We have Into on his second level, and it looks like ColumW may have taken a reactionary skip, either seeing something he didn't like, possibly the shoot time, not sure, but also opting to skip again. So he'll be on level 4 of the playlist. Will he find better clears later on in the playlist? We will see.
Yeah, looking at the shoot time for this one, it's a 1 minute, 17-second shoot time. So, I mean, Into might not be too afraid of it, and Column might be, saying, I really want to win this, so I want to get the faster levels versus spending at least a minute on a level.
Speaking of, ColumW getting hot and heavy with those skips, and he's now on the 5th level of his playlist, whereas Intuition sticking through this a bit more, showing some expertise in this brawler section, and hopefully another clear for him will be upcoming here. We'll see in a moment.
Yeah, Column's on a level that the shoot time is only 30 seconds right now, so I don't think he's going to be skipping this very easily now.
Both runners at this point definitely feeling the pressure. They know that this is the one that matters. It all truly counts with Into resetting it back and getting the lead and the clear as Column skips 2-1 in Intu's favor.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see going forward if Intu's going to skip more levels, if he's going to try more levels. We definitely know that Column has skipped a couple of these early levels, so we're going to have to see what decisions Intu's going to make to try and keep this Game 3 going.
With having those skips, if they were easier clears, and it looks like that was a fairly quick one as well, Into extending his lead, lengthening his stride to a 3-1 lead here in Game 3.
Yeah, and that might have been the decision maker right there. Is Column ended up skipping that level and it ended up being fairly short. But he gets his next clear right up here, so now we're looking at a 2-3 Intuition favor as Column gets that next level.
And look at the strategies here happening on Intu's side, keeping sprint and hopping across those Bernie whirlers. That's a semi-solid, guys. You can use those as a platform. Doesn't even have to wait for that fly block to go through there. This man is not slowing down.
Can you blame him? I mean, this is, going for bronze. Like I said, this is either you get your bronze or you go home with nothing.
Pretty much. I'm sure that Into, he still has to feel pretty hurt about that close loss against Specker the other day. So he's definitely fighting for pride here more than anything else. ColumW, however, again, also looking to make a name for himself, taking down Into and grabbing that bronze, but we'll see what happens on his side. He's making some progress, but took an unfortunate death there while trying to make these block push jumps.
Yeah, a nice little brawler over on Intu's side. As he finishes his next level, we're looking at an extended lead here, 4-2 Intuition.
Right you are, and time continues to tick by. We're almost underneath our 10-minute mark at this point, so 5 minutes have gone by, and Into having 4 clears in 5 minutes, that's a pretty good pace. If you're clearing levels here, at least one every minute and 30 seconds or so, that's a good average to go on. But again, this man no stranger to double-digit clears. ColumW needs to answer back here soon before he starts closing the door on him.
Yeah, and that's definitely the thing here is chat is saying that column side does have some skips in it, but maybe column does not have the knowledge to know exactly where these skips are.
Level knowledge and also being able to smell out that cheese, as we say, is all part of it. And Into has the package in hand, sees the gold off in the distance, so I can't imagine he's going to be taking a skip on this one here. I expect a clear will be happening here soon. ColumW having to reset and get that sprint speed. Anytime he takes a death, that is going to be rather costly at time here. So you have to wonder, he's going to be looking potentially to skip. We may see this happen here at some point, taking another unfortunate death on those Spiketrons.
I have a feeling that Column's not going to skip this level. He has a feeling that this is probably the end here. All he needs to do is get through these couple of tough jumps, and there it is for Intu's side as he extends the lead once again, 5-2. This is going to be shutting the door pretty quickly over on Column.
He has to avoid taking these deaths again, because every time he's taking a death, he's losing about 10-15 seconds just to get back to that point. He's got to be feeling the pressure here. Overall, Into making some confident progress on his side, trying to find that first checkpoint if it's available to him. Getting a little close, very, very close there between those Bernie the Whirlers. And he sees his next goal within sight already. I think he just one-shot that one and grabs himself the 6th clear, extending his lead, showing who ColumW is dealing with.
Yeah, this match 3 is already looking pretty one-sided, but you never know what's going to end up happening. It looks like Column skipping a couple of levels, trying to get to that next playlist. He doesn't like the current one he's in.
And that is a confirmed 2 clears for ColumW. Into getting to the spot that ColumW had some difficulty with, maintaining his sprint. Having some difficulty there with the package. ColumW dips his toe now into playlist number 2. Let's see if he can find something there to get his rhythm going.
We got some nice grabbing tricks on the blobfish that can drop that item that lets you get extra jump height if you hit it just right.
That, my friend, is the blop sack, and definitely greatly reduces the gravity, extending your jump, making things a lot more floaty. It'd be quite enjoyable to use. There's a few great levels out there that are created using the process. Intuition opting to skip the toe sliders entirely, just taking that top spot. And we'll see how close the end is, because he made some decent progress past there. ColumW on his side, having to deal with this Lazumi, who will just not get away, and Intuition getting the clear on that level that he had skipped. Moving up, a 7-2 lead here, with about 7 minutes left to go.
Yeah, and this just definitely goes to show how much you should be sticking with levels versus skipping them. I think that's what is not doing Column a whole lot of service right now, is he skipped a lot of those early levels that Into ended up finishing, and ended up being short levels.
It's definitely no secret right now that Intu's feeling himself. He's definitely going to feel pretty confident, and he knows that he's got 7 clears in with still half the time to go. Column definitely having some heartbreaking losses on some of those levels and trying to hold on as best as he can. Again, getting clears can help you in that mental state, but right now you can see that he's mentally guard broken as best as possible. And Into making tangible progress with that waylay. We don't know where the package or the end is at this point, but you have to feel like he's making his way through. And ColumW, however, it's getting bullied by these flip whips.
Yeah, flip whips are not easy to deal with, even for experienced runners. So they're definitely a harder enemy. And I heard from Butterscotch podcast they're adding more enemies with their next update. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to add to make this game either more difficult or more interesting.
Well, it's always more interesting with how things interact with each other here, but we're going to see more interesting deaths and different ways for things to happen. That's for sure. And Intuition climbing up the side here. I'm not sure if that's the intended path or not, or if he should be going in these rooms. And ColumW getting tortured by this flapjack. Oh, goodness gracious. They can be painful because they have different jump heights that are entirely random, and they can be kind of hard to read, even with having a waylay in tow.
So Into sees his package, so now he knows exactly where it is. He just needs to get to it, and then get to the end here.
And he's trying to do some shenanigans there with that pop medallion, that little teleporter, but gets the checkpoint, finds his way up. Fling goes up. He's going to be getting there. We see signs for the package, so it should be nearby.
He just grabbed the package, so now he's on his way up, making his way around the side of the level, going towards the goalpost.
It looks like it's at top, and again, grabbing yet another clear, going to an 8-2 lead here. Fantastic job by Into. ColumW dealing with these twist geese.
Yeah, the drill beaks, the twist geese, they have a lot of interesting names that people have given them. I know Twist Goose was one of the first ones that the developers gave them when they came out with them.
To this day, I believe that that Seth has confirmed in the code that any sort of variables that are tied to them are still referred to as twist geese. And same with other ones as well. The zipper used to be known as Blink, I think, in the code as well. The original name for that one was the Quantum Electro Dongle. I kind of missed that one myself, but nonetheless. And ColumW finding himself his third clear, 8-3 in Intuition's favor here with just 4 minutes left to go in Game 3.
Yeah, Column's probably starting to feel like this is going to be a pretty easy sweep for Intu's side. Just because how many levels he has, how many times he's had to skip. He's already in the second playlist even.
Now, here's the thing again. He has to be thinking, even as confident as he has to be at this point with his numbers, he knows how close the first two matches are. So he's going to put this away. He's going to just dispel any possible doubt. And I fully expect this. Well, he has a chance. He's on pace to make it to double-digit clears. And that would definitely be very much within him. However, possibly getting trolled, I'm not sure if that was intended or not. But this was a section we saw that ColumW was in with the Swoopadoop fight. So we'll see what happens with this one.
Yeah, and it looks like we're into the next level on Column's side. He's in map 3 of set 2 or of the second playlist. He's got his package. He's got the finish point. So now he gets his catch up here with a 4-8 on his side.
No. You just got a simultaneous clear there. That was number 9 for Intu. So that's going to be 9-4.
Yeah, Intu is maintaining and increasing his lead almost every game here now. So I think this is going to be a pretty clear win. But, you know, we never know. Something could happen.
Something could definitely happen. But at this point here, it's Intu's knocking at the door of getting that double-digit clear. We'll see if he can snake it in here with just 2 minutes and 30-some seconds left to go.
Yeah, the double-digit clear seems to be the one that you want to go for on these playlists because it's definitely that's kind of like your confirmed, like, okay, I've got this.
That is something we have not seen yet during DLC 2, is where both players get double-digit clears. Speaking of clears, though, ColumW grabs his as well, taking this to a 9-5.
And to answer chat, Crumblers are those thwomp-like enemies that will fall down on you.
And ColumW quickly skipping this one out. He's trying to suss out those quicker clears. He knows the time is limited, and he may have to pull himself back at this point. And Intu still looking for his 10th clear of this final match, or of this final set of this match.
And Column goes ahead and skips that level he was just in, so he's only got 4 levels left to play. He has to beat every level in order to at least tie with Intuition at this point. If Intuition clears one more level, it's a guaranteed win for Intuition.
And not to mention, does he have to clear all of them within that? He only has 1:30 left to do it. So he needs to put on himself a clinic and find a zipper in every single level at this point, it seems.
Intu almost leaves the package behind, goes and grabs it, and now he's on his way to go look for that last area to go to.
We have about 1 minute left on the clock here, guys, and we saw this fight here before with ColumW, throwing the package down, using that kind of as your base of operations for this. But Intu looking to juggle the 5-hit and does so, and he gets himself his 10th clear, double-digit clears here in Game 3.
Yep, that's pretty much your confirmed win once we get to the playlist, that Intu is going to go ahead and take the bronze on this.
It's definitely hard fought here, guys. 30-some seconds left to go. ColumW trying to seek another clear to finish this one off with, but extremely well played by both players, truly. And we'll hope to talk to them afterward here before we move on to the final match. But an excellent job for Intu bouncing back after a rough first set. ColumW, though, hanging in with the big guns here at this point. The young gun facing the veteran. And nothing but respect and credit to both of them, especially to him, for doing a great job.
And we got about 10 seconds left. It looks like Column is just going to go ahead and skip right to the end of the playlist. He knows that at this point, he's not going to be able to get any more level clears.
And on our side, we now see that it is time. And we will confirm the points at the end here. However, we do know this was a bit of a landslide here. And I saw someone in the chat that says, remind me not to anger Into. And Into definitely turned on Magic here once again, getting the double-digit clears. That's going to be a Game 3 wrap here Into. And that side, the set will be 2-1 Into taking third place, bronze in DLC Season 2. Column will be walking away best of the rest in fourth place.
Stick around, guys. We're going to be starting right back up with the next games here with Edafeed versus Specchio coming up here in just a second.
Yeah, hang tight here, guys. We'll see if we can get possibly some folks in here for words. Into, I know, is a man of few words. He lets his gameplay speak for himself here. So we'll see if ColumW wants to pop in and talk about his experience during the bronze match today.
The level breaker for the win. I agree, Hexadecimal. And while we're waiting, guys, be sure to visit each of our runners' channels, give them a follow, shout them out in chat, let them know how much you love them and how much you want to see their future races.
I can't imagine this will be the last time that we'll see any of these runners within DLC, and hoping to see some new faces the next time around whenever we're going to have this again. But this is going to be pretty fantastic for sure. Again, keep it here, guys. The grand finals will be following this. Specchio versus Edafeed. That one should be a treat.
All right, and it looks like both runners are turning down the interview for right now. So we're just going to start transitioning over into our next game here. Get some hype in the chat for both of our runners, Edafeed versus Specchio. Let's get some predictions. Are we going to see another double digit coming up here? What do you think?
You know what? I'm going to chime in here and say as well that both players have the ability of getting double-digit clears if they get the right levels, especially Edafeed, who's already proven that in his match previously. An excellent showing for both of these. I think it's going to be fantastic. But let's cap this one off here. Into versus ColumW there, Sanath. What was your takeaway here from Game 3?
You know, I think I think I said it a couple of times during the matchup there, Colum just skipped so many levels that he could have finished. And I think that's what did him in early, is he skipped too many levels, and he started doing some of the harder levels, knowing that he needs to finish in order to get some points on the board. And unfortunately, I think that's what did him in the end.
Right, you are. And Into, however, showing complete confidence the whole way through, getting those 10 clears. Again, that is no slouch by any means. I don't think I've ever done that even during my practices. So it's very difficult to do that when you're under pressure. So congratulations to him for getting the bronze medal in this one. ColumW, an excellent showing against arguably one of the best that's out there. So definitely no slouch by any means. Hope to see him again the next time around. And he will only continue to improve. And that's the crazy part about it, that he will be even a better shower moving forward. Now, looking ahead, Edafeed versus Specchio. Sanath, what's your takeaways for this one?
You know, it is one of those things that, again, you can't predict who's going to do well. It's going to be one of those, it's mind games the whole way. You get into these races, even during practicing, you don't have these mind games because you're practicing. But when you're actually against someone and it's live and you don't know what's about to happen, you know, your heart rate could go up, you get nervous, you start thinking about, did I skip too many levels? Am I spending too much time on this level? I think it's gonna be another really close race for the first one, and then for the second one, we're going to see the runners start getting comfortable again, and then if we go to a third, I think it might be a sweep.
It's going to be very tight, that's for sure. I expect this one to go to a Game 3, and it seems like what happens is if you get a really dominant first game set, there's some complacency with it. Oh, I've got this. You know, this other person's not a competitor. And then they usually answer back in Game 2. I think if I had to make some estimations here, and this is just solely predictions and conjecture here, I fully expect that Edafeed will take Game 1. I think that he will feel very confident out of the gate, maybe pull back a bit in Game 2. Specchio will take Game 2, and then Game 3 is anybody's match at this point. Edafeed has done a good bit of grinding and has a lot of level knowledge, which he had put on display yesterday. For sure. So we'll see how that looks against his match with ColumW. So I expect he will do extremely well. But Specchio showing that he can keep pace with the best, and his consistency and confidence in the work that he does. his knowledge of the game and of creating levels. He knows how to break things in the process too. So it's anybody's game going into this grand final. Truly, the last match of DLC Season 2, guys, and this one, all eyes will be on both runners. The pressure is going to be there. The pressure is definitely on, for sure.